Welcome to the inaugural first episode of Dude, You Know It's Sick.
Yes, welcome.
My name is Mike.
My name's Dalton.
And this is kind of like a pilot episode, as if you could call it that.
Yeah, this is the trial and error episode.
That's right. So it could be that this is just lost in time.
Yep.
And just on one of our hard drives forever, and no one will hear.
Yes.
No one will ever hear it. Before we kind of get into the episode, I thought maybe we could talk a little bit about ourselves and why we're doing this. Because, I was thinking about, I was talking to a buddy earlier today, actually, about, that we were going to record today and do a little bit of a pilot tester episode. And, was kind of talking about how there's 4 million movie podcasts.
Yes.
So, like...
Better than ours.
Right, well, yeah, way better than this. Like, yeah. When you think about podcasts and movie podcasts, Dalton, what kind of, what drives you to, turn on the microphone, put your thoughts out, record them?
It mainly comes from our conversations.
Yes.
And conversations around. So those people who don't know is we work at an independent movie theater. And we meet a lot of film fans.
A lot of film fans.
We get really excited to talk about movies, and we are definitely a couple yappers.
Absolutely.
We love to talk.
Yeah.
And
especially when we're excited about
when
something.
yes.
Yeah.
And I feel like we've had enough conversations just about certain movies that have come and gone, where it's like we'll talk about a movie, and then the following week we're talking about it again, and we're doing it again. And the format of this podcast will be exactly what we...
Yeah, that's right.
Every conversation starts with one of us walking into the room and going, dude, you know it's sick? And then we'll
Followed by
the title of a movie,
Yeah.
and then 30 minutes of us just going...
Yeah.
Man, how awesome is, Bruce Willis,
That's right. Yeah. And, so, I mean, it's organic in the sense that, we've been, for the better part of a year, probably talking around doing something like a podcast or whatever. We've been on other podcasts together, solo and together. We've been, I do a radio movie show, a radio show about movies called Outside the Frame on Radio Western 94.9 FM, which you've been on multiple times. So it's not our first rodeo to talk into a microphone about movies.
It's the first time it's just us doing it.
It is the first time that it's
somebody
just us.
else's show that we're.
That's right.
We're just we're constrained.
Yes.
We're let's just. We can cook for a little bit.
We can cook,
yeah.
And now in this format, depending on where things are released and how they're released, but we can say things like "fuck," which is great.
Yeah, we might have to in a couple
in a couple minutes.
I
mean, for me personally, I think there's a couple of big podcasts that we're both fans of, and I think we're pretty conscious of knowing that they exist and not wanting to just be them
or do what they're doing.
That's right. Even though
it's hard to avoid.
It's hard to avoid
certain areas, but hopefully our personalities, our tastes, and our little flares will keep it different and interesting enough.
And interesting and entertaining. Yeah. And I think also if you take away the format for a second, in terms of the kinds of movies we're going to be talking about. We're not going to be talking about specific genres. This isn't a genre podcast.
It's our own criteria
that's right.
We will not explain either.
Yeah.
It's just one criteria, and we have to both think it's sick in some way.
That's right.
Yeah.
But
that's
it. So it's also not just it could be not just rep titles.
No, it could be new stuff. It also there's going to be a lot of action movies, but it doesn't have to be action.
Nope, it doesn't have to be action.
We could do there's old Hollywood movies we think are sweet.
That's right.
But I think there's going to be a lot of 90s action in here.
Sure.
80s to early 2000s action movies will probably keep popping up.
Yeah, and
Specific directors.
yeah, there's gonna be some directors for sure.
There's gonna be Tony Scott movies, and there's going to be almost all of them.
Yeah, exactly.
They're all sick.
Yeah, and I think, you know, in terms of like, we don't really have a strict format at this stage in the game, but we do have a little bit of like a game plan.
Yeah, you guys will figure it out with us.
Yeah, that's right. The idea is that we're gonna do sort of like a double feature.
Yeah.
So there's going to be like our main, like what would be billed as like the top billing in a double feature.
The one you guys care about and the one we care about.
That's right. So that's how we're going to kind of like start things. And, you know, that's kind of like very loosely what we're going to try and do here.
Yeah.
And then talk about how sick they are.
Yeah, we have some planned, but they could always change and things like that. But I think we've sort of figured out in this early stage what the ideal pairing situation would be.
Yes.
Like what goes with what and why.
Yeah. Which brings us, I think, nicely into
Yes. What is sick, Mike?
Do you know what's sick?
Tell me.
The Last Boy Scout.
My name's Dalton. And I'm Mike. My name's Dalton. You know what's sick?
This ain't no game, Flash.
Joe Hallenbeck's a private detective who's run out of luck.
If you touch me again, I'll kill you.
2 for 2.
Jimmy Dix
I like bricks.
is an ex-quarterback who was thrown out of football.
Another tragic tale of wasted youth. You're nobody. Shh. Don't tell anyone.
They were trying to clean up their acts
You vacuum, I'll dust.
when they got dragged into the dirty world of sports corruption.
So you're gonna bribe some senators to legalize gambling?
Legalize sports gambling. Now,
Son, we're going to a ball game.
they've got one shot
What am I gonna do? Point at the bad guys and shoot!
to get the goods on the bad guys.
This once, I would like to hear you scream.
Play some rap music.
If they don't kill each other first.
That was a bomb? Either that or a hell of a factory recall.
Bruce Willis, Damon Wayans, the Last Boy Scout.
Danger's my middle name.
Mine's Cornelius. You tell anybody, I kill you.
So sick. So sick.
This movie is so sick, dude.
And let me just also say that this is the perfect opening movie.
It is.
because the movie has a perfect opening.
Unbelievable.
It's the
Unbelievable.
Probably the sickest opening of any movie ever.
It's definitely up there. Like there's a few movies that we'll probably end up talking about in subsequent episodes if we get there that have great opening scenes.
Yes.
But
It's hard to top
this one is unbelievable. So if you don't know, The Last Boy Scout, of course, not just because of how the opening and how sick the opening is, but it is a Tony Scott movie.
It is
which
a Tony, and the opening is extraordinarily Tony Scott.
the most Tony
There's
Scott,
so much rain.
the most amount of rain that I've ever seen.
Yeah, like
in
there's
this scene.
no one's playing sports in this amount of rain, and they're not even playing sports,
Dude,
they're just beating the shit out of each other, and there's a football on the field.
Dude, and it's not shot in a way that's like you can tell, I think, from a shot by shot and like the choices that Tony Scott makes, that it wasn't like we're trying to tell a story with the game or anything.
No.
like that.
Tony Scott has doesn't know what football is.
Yeah.
He's maybe he went to like a high school game or something, saw
Yeah,
people
yeah.
were jazzed, but like they're like flying over each other. He definitely by the end of that scene, it's like this has never happened in any football game ever.
Well, I think
that's Shane Black, but
yeah. Well, that's the other thing that's going to
Yeah.
connect. The thing that's going to connect both features, right? We'll get to the second one later, but
you might see the title. I don't know what we're
sure,
gonna,
yeah. You
But-
might see the title, but both of these films were written by Shane Black, and
Yes.
of course, both of us think Shane Black is really sick.
Yeah, he does have some misses.
Of course,
But-
of course,
When he's on, there's nobody like him. Like he has in this space of movie of like, I mean, this isn't a buddy cop movie, but it might as well be. Like
no,
it's-
yeah. I mean, they're
neither
not,
of them are cops.
Neither of them are cops.
One
but-
was a Secret Service agent, I
That's
guess.
right.
But
But it has that energy,
It
though.
does. It has two dudes and a little kid in some aspect
in peril.
in peril, trying to in the middle of chaos, trying to stop a bad guy. Like that's
right. Yeah.
that's the Shane Black recipe, and
That's right.
It tastes so good.
This it does. This one is missing a quintessential piece, which it features in the second Shane Black movie that we're gonna talk about, but which is typically traditionally he does talk about Christmas a lot, right?
I mean, hey, this one there's Satan Claus.
there is
you
the
know?
Satan
And-
Claus does make an
and
appearance.
It's one of the least Christmassy Shane Black, and
It's definitely least
the
yeah,
end.
yeah.
The end is where he just goes, "Oh yeah, and it's Christmas."
Yeah.
like there's a little bit in it,
but it's not a feature like in other Shane Black.
yeah, it's not
movies.
Lethal Weapon. It's not the next film we will discuss,
no.
which we don't get to mention until we get there.
Yeah. So we got to set it up.
we got to set it up.
But yeah, I think there's the other thing that kind of stood out to me on the Shane Black thing that
Yeah.
I think is super sick is the dialogue is like I just like on this rewatch I rewatched it not too long ago.
Yeah, I mean we've talked about it so often
Yeah.
that I've done a few rewatches. You've done,
But the thing that hit me on this rewatch was like it still holds up as being really funny.
it's so funny.
Yeah.
Like even the side characters, like even
Yeah.
the what's his name, Jake or something.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
where he's like they're trying to get the stuff out of the trunk. and
Yeah,
everything.
yeah.
You know, and
Yeah.
like they're all four of them are bouncing off each other.
That's right.
And
just the dialogue is so snappy. Of
Yeah.
course, it leads to Bruce Willis and Damian Wayans being like it's a great pairing.
It is.
And I think sometimes it's kind of lost, especially now. That Bruce Willis is really funny. Like
He's
like
very
Die,
fun-
Die Hard is really funny to me. Like his-
also
yeah,
the original title for this film,
is
Die Hard.
yeah.
And then Joel Silver wanted it for another movie.
For another
so-
movie. Yeah, and this film is comes out in '91, so we're not too. I mean, there's been two Die Hards.
Yes.
And there is a connection to Die Hard with our next movie. Just we're teasing the next
We're teasing.
movie.
Yeah, we are.
Pretty
You guys are
hard,
like,
but
how is Die Hard not a Shane Black movie?
it is the.
It's a Christmas movie.
That's right.
It's Bruce Willis
Bruce Willis.
talking shit, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
and like
yeah. Beating bad guys.
beating bad guys up. They keep cutting to like his kid at home.
Right.
You know, I'm like,
right.
it's Joel Silver wanted Shane Black to make that movie so bad.
I'm sure it was in the meetings of like, hey,
Can you please make?
yeah, this is just take what Shane Black did, but it also has a lot of Lethal Weapon energy too, in terms of like the pairing. They're not cops as we've pointed out, but
Yeah.
it still has.
They're
that, like,
partners,
they're
though.
partners. It's funny. It's an action comedy. This is like at the beginning of the '90s when this kind of genre post Die Hard
Yeah.
is going to really kick off, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're gonna have a whole decade of 90s action flicks that are extremely rewatchable, so much fun in my opinion. And we can go back and look at them and say, well, it's just there's a few movies and a few stars that, like, in the last, we'll say 10, 15 years, that have tried to kind of carry that tradition on, most notably probably Jason Statham. Where it's kind of, you're there for that guy and he's doing a thing. But I don't know. There's this energy.
They don't have the
like,
juice. They don't have the juice. That's all it is.
I mean, we even went and saw the new Statham movie.
Yeah,
and it was
Working Man.
Working Man.
I will say the Beekeeper is sick though.
Right, but all of this is kind of stemming from the post Die Hard and into the '90s sort of juice.
Could you imagine a Bruce Willis Beekeeper?
I mean, that's if that movie's made in '93,
There'd just be a lot more cigarettes smoked in that movie.
yeah. I mean,
They smoke so much in this movie.
so much, and so much in the next film too. Like that was just part of the deal. What I think too, it's odd. Like what the other thing that kind of hit me on this rewatch is how much of a noir influence.
Oh yeah, big time.
That this movie has. I am such a big sucker for a down and out private detective.
Yeah, he even says all private or all private. What does he say? Yeah, all PIs are scumbags. Or something like that. It's perfect.
It's and I really like. Obviously, he's playing with the genre. I wouldn't say it's a noir or a neo noir or anything.
I wouldn't.
But
it
has,
heavily influenced.
That's right. The other thing that I think is sick, and I think it just always works on me. There's like certain premises I'm sure you have too.
Oh yeah,
that
dude. You think a movie's on a train? I'm not seeing it. Like it doesn't take much for me.
The best was, I mean, this might pop up in a few other episodes, but we might add an element to this where we suggest movies to each other. And I was I put together a little bit of a list of movies that maybe we'll just do it on maybe this one or next one or something of like figuring out which ones you haven't seen that are on my list and vice versa. One of them was Hard Rain.
But I had seen
and
it.
I was like, dude, have you seen this? And you're like, come on, a movie's called
Hard Rain, and I didn't see it. Like,
do you even know who I am, dude? Like, so I think, so getting back to the premise that always works on me is, if there's some kind of I like the old school like tape or physical thing, but if there's a tape or like a film or something that is the central thing of like either blackmail or evidence or whatever. So probably another movie that will be on our list at some point, 8mm.
Of course,
like when there's this like central piece of like this,
it's like a MacGuffin, but it's like it's
the best. It always works on me. I don't know what it is. It's just like, I think it might be like remnants of like, being being young and seeing JFK for the first time. And really like, I didn't, the way that the Zapruder film is looked at now, or it might be different, but as a kid seeing that movie and seeing that they didn't film that, like that was real.
Yeah.
Like that was the scariest thing that I'd ever seen.
Sure,
like,
you're
so
watching
scary.
a guy get his head blown off.
It's it's not just some random guy.
It's the most powerful man on earth.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I think that might have implanted something in my brain where I'm like, I just love the premise of, like with this movie, there's a tape or something that
fast forward eats the tape.
Yeah.
Fast forward
eats the tape. But that premise, in the context of this movie, it's, that there's some evidence on there that could, that Halle Berry, which all time.
You know what's sick? Halle Berry in The Last Boy Scout.
And I mean,
she's only in it for like 3 minutes.
Well, she's in the first act, and spoiler alert for both of these.
She
movies,
gets
but
mowed down.
But she acquired or found some things that could have helped her boyfriend Damian Wayans get back into the good graces of the Professional Football League, right?
Is it the NFL?
Well, this is a great thing, right? So number one is just let's back up a little bit to the opening scene.
Yes.
So you have
Billy Cole in the rain,
right? You have two ex NFL players, one on the main commentary, Dick Butkus.
Butkus, yep. Greatest name of all time.
So good.
Sick name.
Very sick name. And then you have Lynn Swann on the field.
Yes.
So obviously they didn't have permission from the NFL because
I think they call it professional football.
Professional football.
Yeah.
The other thing, they even go as far as, of course, they're changing the name, the names of the football teams.
They just say
Cleveland and LA Stallions.
Stallions,
I think. So the other thing that I think is notable, I love the way that, and it's so sick, the way that this film opens. It just, the
Friday night's a great night for football.
Like that song
gets you so hyped,
and
then hard cut to the most serious tone of all time.
Serious tone. But that so why that's notable and why they're literally saying this is not the NFL, because NFL will never be played on a Friday
night,
unless
some special thing.
It would have to be like a Christmas Day, like that would fall on a Friday or something. But
I was gonna say Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is never on a Friday.
Never on a Friday.
So
yeah, it's usually on a Thursday. I think is usually when they try to do it. If memory serves,
we're not Americans.
We're not Americans. But if memory serves, I do watch some a decent
You're a
amount.
football guy.
Yeah, I'm a football guy.
The coaster here is football.
It is football related. But so how it works in the States is Friday night is for high school, Saturday is for college, and Sunday. That's traditionally how it works. So they're really distancing themselves by opening with a song that's Friday night is a great night for football, right? But that song is part of Sunday Night Football. There is a Sunday Night Football song that is very close to what they're doing in this with the opening and the song and and so just to hear that and then you have Dick and fucking Lynn Swann, right? And so they are saying, yes, this is professional football, but
it's got an asterisk. There's a big asterisk.
I will say also, again, we're talking about the opening here, but the shocking nature of how it plays out is so insane. Again, this is a spoiler podcast, so if you haven't seen the movie, it
seems like this podcast is about the opening of the last. We will get past it.
We'll get past it.
But it's a big thing for us.
It is a big thing, yes. And because he does the way that the sequence unfolds is you don't really know what is gonna transpire, right?
Even when he's pulling the gun, you don't think he's gonna shoot anybody,
and then he just shoots
the first guy right in the head,
right in the face.
But then he starts kneecapping. He gets a little nicer,
yeah.
And then to one of the greatest lines of all time, the "Ain't life a bitch." Perfect opening to a movie.
And then commits suicide.
Yes,
on the field.
Yeah,
hard cut to
Bruce Willis passed out in a car, which also leads to
one of the great lines.
One of the other great lines, which is, "I think I fucked a squirrel to death, but I don't remember." It's entirely possible that occurred,
And so these kids are fucking with Bruce Willis, and he's obviously hungover. But yes, there's reference to it, but if that happened in real life,
it barely comes up in the movie.
Barely.
It he keeps Wayans later on.
Yes.
Goes the only way for
Billy
it to
Cole.
is for me to blow my brains out like Billy Cole.
Billy Cole.
And that's kind of it. That's kind of the only. I mean, it does come up in the changing landscape of football.
Yeah.
And it's all the gambling things and
steroids,
steroid
use.
Yeah, I mean, even it's implied that Billy Cole is basically the mob has money on the game.
Yep.
And they need Billy Cole to perform, right?
And to score a touchdown.
To score a touchdown.
By any means necessary.
By any means necessary. And he has nowhere to go.
Nope.
And I think I'm not a big football guy, but I think I know a little bit about football, and I know about sports and
this has never happened ever.
I don't know how often I don't know if it's a penalty or I don't know if the run counts.
It would literally like shut down the league for like weeks. And
yeah, it could be the rest of the season,
right?
you know,
Like,
probably.
I mean, and there's no the other thing.
And then the saddest version of the Star Spangled Banner when they come back,
dude. The other thing is like there's no real like there's I think one crowd reaction shot, but there's no like
No, well, there's the people try to rush the field.
yeah.
As he's doing it, but it's like it's
But,
really
like,
quick.
It's so quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't get that.
I mean, he does the. I don't want to like veer off too far,
Sure.
but he kind of does that in The Fan as well. There's a lot of shit happening.
Yeah.
Sick movie, The Fan.
Yeah, very sick. Probably will. Pop
Probably
up.
will be an episode.
Yeah.
But like, there's so much shit going on in that field.
Yeah.
In the pouring rain. It's a baseball game.
Yeah, it's just baseball. He just substituted.
It will
Yeah.
it will get rained out in baseball.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like, there's very few crowd reaction. There's like the cops and there's
Yeah.
the, but you know he's very in the moment.
Yeah.
He's very like,
Yeah.
and I don't know if that's from the script or if that's just Tony Scott. Deciding
Yeah.
we're gonna stay in this. We're gonna the coolest shit is happening on the field right now.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like
Oh man.
can't pull away from this, guys.
So moving a little bit ahead of the opening scene.
Yeah.
Like obviously we like that is if we had to give like dude what's sickest award
Sickest award.
it's probably this opening.
It's the opening scene
Yeah.
or another one, which is probably where you're going.
Maybe.
Which is it the closet scene?
closet
The closet scene is I will say, as much as I love this movie, and I
Yeah.
do, it's a 5-star movie.
Yeah.
I've seen it so many times. I will say the first half is significantly better than the second half.
Yep.
The second half is sweet,
Yeah.
but it kind of like all the like hard lines, the
Yep.
random acts of violence.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like later on, the violence is like there's a lot of it.
Yeah, but it's more
it's story based, but like these
it's
are all like,
following a format of them. Oh, we gotta
Yeah.
go here. We gotta go there.
I mean, not that the closet scene isn't story based.
Yeah.
I just mean like it's more surprising, I guess,
in the first half.
in the first half, and I don't know. It's just something I noticed on this rewatch where I think it didn't help that I paused it halfway through the movie.
Yeah.
But I did notice that the first half is and I think, if I'm not mistaken, that's where it, because the script for this movie is legendary.
How so?
In Hollywood?
How so?
Well, when it first came out, it was the highest selling spec script of all time, I believe, and which didn't last very long. He was offered, I think, $2.2 million from some company, turned it down,
That's crazy.
and took $1.7 million from Warner Brothers.
Yep.
Because he wanted to work with Joel Silver.
Legendary producer.
Legendary producer. I think I've mentioned his name a few times. Should probably explain Joel Silver is the producer.
Yeah.
He's a big
Big action guy.
Yeah.
And
kind of like a Bruckheimer
Yep,
or Simpson
for sure.
kind of thing.
Yep.
But I was gonna mention this before the show, and then you're like, hold it, we can do it.
Save it.
It was quickly passed as a spec script for highest selling by Basic Instinct, and then shortly after that was our next film, The Long Kiss Goodnight.
Oh wow.
That was sorry we weren't saying it until now, but
that's fine.
I had to say it.
No, that's great.
It's a little interesting. So Shane Black just running him up with the Bills in Hollywood, but
That's crazy.
yeah, I mean, like, and then so the reason I got to that was apparently there was a lot of changes from the script to the movie, and Tony Scott and Shane Black both have said that the original script is significantly better than the final film.
Interesting.
Yeah, which I'm like, I haven't read the script. I've read some Shane Black scripts. I'll probably read this one soon.
Yeah.
His scripts are really fun to read.
Do you have a novelization?
I
of
do.
this?
Mike here found at a thrift store, I believe,
Yeah.
the novelization of The Last Boy Scout.
Yeah.
And I got so excited when he gave it to me. I was like, "This is like the coolest thing you've ever. This is the sickest thing you've ever
So sick.
ever given me." Yeah, I was thumbing through it today.
Nice.
While I was rewatching the movie.
Yeah.
But I guess a lot of the changes came. I did like the barely any research. I just wanted
Yeah.
to go from the
the
hip
dome.
on this
Yeah,
one.
from the hip, yeah.
I've seen this. I was like, I just want to like,
Cook.
yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to be distracted by like the things I read, but
Yeah.
I guess a lot of the differences were in the latter half, and they
Gotcha.
really toned down the violence, I guess, which is crazy because it's a very violent movie.
It's quite violent.
But I guess the original cut was like NC-17, and the audience reactions were like, that was a very violent movie, and like the movie's not very like hopeful. You know what I mean? Like it's very cynical. It's
It is.
very like Jimmy Dix, is that his name? Wayne's character?
Jimmy, yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know his last name. I can't remember
I think
his
it's
last
Dix.
name. Okay.
He's like a drug addict.
Yeah,
his
his girlfriend.
his girlfriend's a stripper,
and
who
then just gets
mowed down.
like in front of him.
And like, you know, Bruce Willis is like his best friend sleeping with his wife. You know, he's fucking squirrels to death.
Yeah.
You know, I don't think there's like a scene where he doesn't have a cigarette.
Cigarette,
Like,
yeah.
He's even when he's about to get killed, he's asking for cigarettes like every time.
Yep.
Which is so sick.
Yeah.
Like it's such a. You got a gun to your head. Yeah, you got a cigarette.
got a cigarette.
Like it's.
Well, I mean, I think that points to where we
we're
started
go-
here
yeah.
with the closet scene.
Yes.
And the closet scene being that, you know, the setup is so he wakes up after his night out, whatever he was doing.
Some sort of bender slept in his car.
Right.
He
and-
seems to be a little bit on the rocks with his wife.
Yeah, there's some
He's-
problems there.
Yeah.
And you know, they have this conversation, and then all of a sudden, you know, him being a private detective starts noticing a couple of things.
So awesome.
And then it was
There's a little steam in the shower, but your hair's dry.
hair's dry.
And the toilet seat's up, so it's got to be a guy, you know?
And he's like, I'm gonna shoot.
Yeah, he's like, he's not under the bed, so he must be in the closet.
Right, and he he does the.
You want me to open it? No,
Yeah,
I don't
no,
want
no.
you to open it. What I'm going to do is I'm going to count to 3 and put a bullet through the door. And she's just, you need to call your shrink.
Yeah.
Joe, you're losing your mind.
You're
you know?
losing your mind. It ends up being that it's his best friend,
Yes.
and that he and what's interesting, what I love about there, because this scene works in a couple of different ways. It's funny. Bruce Willis is perfect.
Great suspense.
Great suspense. Like he figures out this little thing, but it's also like just underneath that, it actually serves a purpose in the story.
Yeah, it's a very big, like, it's not the inciting incident.
Right.
The inciting incident happens about 2 minutes later.
Yes.
But
Which is that his car blows up, and
Yeah.
His Mike, I actually think is his right is his best friend's
Something
name.
like that.
I think it's Mike. Dies,
Yeah.
and you find out that he dropped this case on Bruce Willis
to try and get him killed.
to try and get him killed,
So
and
he
the
could
and the
take
case,
his wife.
so that he could take his wife. The case being that there's this stripper that's in trouble, and you got to watch her, and she has, you know, and it sets up the whole where the film is going to go.
Yes.
Right. And that's where you find out about this evidence that she has, and that, and then
the
you know,
dirty senators,
dirty senators.
mobsters, gambling.
Bruce Willis with hair, and then also with cop hair, as you
Oh
pointed
yeah,
out,
the
in
flashback
flashbacks.
to Secret
Yeah.
Service hair. I was like, it looks like a different movie.
It does,
But
and
it's-
I kind of want to see that.
I want to
movie.
see young Joe Hallenbeck
Yeah.
in the Secret Service knocking out the senator's forefront teeth. you
Right.
know?
So you kind of find out that he's a private detective almost by necessity, because he did save he, as in Bruce Willis's character Joe, saves the president's life, but also you find out through these flashbacks that there is a senator that was doing some untoward things to females, and
very rude to a nice young lady.
right, very rude, and Bruce Willis didn't took offense to this and punched his teeth out,
Cold cocked him right in the hotel.
Cold cocked him, and this kind of sets his, where things are going to go with his life in terms of like, he was this hero, but also is this fallen hero, right?
Yes.
And another scene that happens not too long after is when the hitmen come to get him, and he's always getting out of situations.
Yeah, he's so good at it.
Which is so great. And he starts telling these like kind of street jokes to this hitman to get him to like kind of break. And
is it the how fat was your wife?
How exactly.
Yeah.
And they're essentially like just one-liner street jokes.
But he's rattling them off.
That's the thing. That's what's great about it is that once he gets the dude to, because at first the hitman's kind of like annoyed that he keeps like
breaking up his wife
and fucking with.
And then he's like, all right, let me hear it.
And then he's like, fine, I'm gonna kill this guy, but let me hear the joke. And once Bruce Willis gets him to break, he starts rattling them off. Like he was like,
he does it so many times, even with the puppet near the end. He's joking with everything. He can never take it seriously.
That's another sick scene, right?
Yeah.
Is when again there's this standoff. He's got to get out of a situation, and he uses
uses humor, but his daughter just wanders into this like Mexican stand. Actually, it's not even a Mexican stand; it's an execution.
An execution, yeah.
And she's doing like a little puppet voice with her.
Right.
Is it a dog or a bear? Or something?
It's a little bear, and he's doing a voice, and she's like setting up the whole thing.
Yeah, and she's got his revolver inside.
Yes,
and so she's like, no, you got to do the voice. And the bad guys don't know it's his daughter. I assume they don't know it's his daughter.
At that point, no.
Yeah. And, he reaches into the puppet, and of course the gun's in there. But he could just shoot them immediately.
100%. Yeah.
But he has to get them laughing first. He's got a thing where he won't kill someone unless they're laughing.
No. Yeah, so I think that's just a great it's a Shane Black script thing for sure, but also like the performance from Willis. Like, I mean, the jokes that he's telling were, and I think this is one thing that we talked about before we started recording the other day. We were talking about what we were going to do the other day on this recording, and one of them was like, the first time that we saw these movies. Yeah. And this scene, this is what reminded me of, the first time that I saw this movie, because some of the jokes that Bruce Willis tells in that scene with the hitman were jokes that were told around the yard, right?
The schoolyard.
The schoolyard. And that's where that, like, a lot of those, I'm sure that's where they came from. Like,
but in the schoolyard there'd be like "Yo Mama" jokes,
right? Like they were literally like the
word for word.
Like the flower joke was I heard that 100%, 100% in the schoolyard.
It's a good one. It's a good one.
Again, like it's not that Bruce Willis made it up or Shane Black made it up,
but they became like iconic.
100%. A sixth or seventh grader, eighth grader, whatever, saw this movie and brought that to school the next day. 100%. So for me, this particular film obviously was R-rated in the States, 18A, I believe, here in Canada.
Sure, they were a little harsher back then.
Yeah, and for me, at the time, and then so Dalton and I are about 10 years apart in terms of age, just over 10 years, right?
Yeah, a little
so
bit over.
You were what, 97?
Yeah,
97. So I was born in 85. So I actually saw this movie roughly around the time that you were born. So around 97.
Yeah.
Right? Which is a little later, but that's not uncommon in the 90s because of how movies were released. I also grew up in a really, really small town.
Was this a video store?
It was a video store special. I definitely remember the poster being up in certain video stores. Obviously, Bruce Willis, especially at the time, action movies were a big thing for me. Was watching action movies, discovering.
You had seen
Rambo.
Die Hard before.
I had seen Die Hard for sure. But this particular movie wasn't something that could be, say, acquired in the household I was
for
residing
sure,
in.
for sure.
So this was, again, pretty common. It's probably common in different ways now, but that you would have a friend or two that had a little bit looser rules as
Sleep
to
overnight.
or Saturday at the friend's house. Hey, let's get and I, of course, like, I was always aware of maybe movies a little bit more than my friends were in some, because I would memorize it.
You had the desire because you didn't get them as often.
Correct. So when I went into to the video store, I would look at and read the backs of movies and really study oh, I really want to see that, and then I would use that later when I was at a friend's house or whatever, and hey, let's get this one, right? Let's get that one. So anyways, we ended up renting The Last Boy Scout and watching it at a buddy's house, at one of my friend's house, and I loved it. There was all the things that I loved, which was the violence. It was funny.
It was.
There was the quintessential. This is really important too to mention, especially with these kind of movies, but also in terms of the time. There's gotta be a fucking strip club scene.
Yeah,
there has to be. There were strip club scenes.
Doesn't matter if there's no nudity or anything.
Nope, no.
As a kid, you're like, I'm not allowed to see this.
That's right.
At all.
There was strip club scenes in cop shows like NYPD Blue. It was just
It's the seedy underworld.
It's and there's gotta be one. Now this is actually story related in the sense that Halle Berry's character.
They weren't just going for drinks at a strip joint.
There was a point there, but at the same time, that was an important element to me wanting to rent this movie.
Yes.
Was there's going to be some salacious activity being happening in this movie, right?
Yes.
So that was the first time that I saw this movie. When was the first time that you saw this movie?
It's funny. I was thinking about that, and it's for being such a movie I watch so much. I think it was, I can't remember the clear I sat down, it blew my mind, but growing up we had we had satellite TV, we had HBO and everything, and tons of movie channels, and I was obsessed. I would watch everything, you know, and I think I had the first viewing was probably catching the last 2/3 of this movie on TV, and then renting it at the video store later. I had a Blockbuster just around the corner from my house. Perfect bike ride distance.
Oh, dude.
It was,
the bike ride to the video store is just...
I was thinking about that the other day. I got really romantic about it the other day.
Dude.
Thinking about how nice it would be if there's just a video store. I could get a bike. It's summer, just go rent a couple,
best. Yeah.
But it didn't become a movie that I think rather than saying the first time it struck me as being a movie that's very important to me, or a movie I need to watch a lot.
Watch and rewatch.
Was probably, it was a couple years ago. So by the time that, because we met about 3 years ago, I'd say.
Yep.
And then shortly before that, maybe 4 years ago, I became obsessed with Tony Scott.
Sure.
And because every one of his movies is a movie that I will just say hell yeah, all the time. I'm doing the Top Gun Maverick fist bump.
Fist bump.
And I think it was during that time I was watching a lot of the Denzel ones, or and I was like, let me go with kind of some of his earlier ones.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I haven't seen this in a long time, and I was like, this is a pretty fun movie.
Yeah.
And that opening scene, to go back to it, I was like, I'm not even 7 minutes into the movie, and I'm like, this is the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
Straight into the Bruce Willis.
Yep.
In his in his car to the office, to his wife's house,
closet,
and I was like, this, I could watch this movie all the time and never get bored with it.
That's an interesting thing for me. That's a movie that I definitely saw a bunch. It definitely came on, like the cut version would come on regular television.
Yeah, the censored version.
The censored version. So I definitely caught it post 97, 98, 99, somewhere in there on a rewatch. But really I don't think I ever revisited that movie until the pandemic.
Yeah.
And as...
A lot of movie watching.
Not for nothing, I realize it might be somewhat controversial, but like...
Uh-oh.
But because there was a lot of bad shit going on.
I agree with you where you're going.
But at the same time,
It was the best time of my life.
Dude, it was the best time.
I don't care. I'm sorry.
We've said it before.
I'm sorry for all those who
No, terrible.
suffer.
Yes,
horrific. But I got paid to sit at home and watch movies. So
dude, it was unbelievable.
see, we're not Americans.
No,
it was kind of sweet here.
Dude, it was. I got, and so I would go on these kicks, right?
Yeah, me too.
So whether it was thrillers, noirs, whatever.
Yeah.
But and one of the kicks I went on was revisiting films from my childhood that I loved, and it just so happened that little kick was action movies. So I did probably 10 to 15 different action movies that I had not seen since I was, 12, 13, 14, 15 years old.
Yeah.
And that's same thing. When I saw the opening scene, I'm just like, I don't remember it hitting like that when
you don't
I
remember
watched
being
it.
that awesome.
It's so sick.
Because like
right?
when you're younger, it's like every movie has sort of like a feel to it.
Yeah.
Where you're like, it's not that crazy when you're a kid to see that in a movie. But when you're like an adult and like you and I, we've seen a lot of movies. A lot of movies. And no movies do that. You know what I mean?
No.
Like when you're a kid, you think you're like, oh, this is just a movie. You know,
Well,
whatever.
you're allowing the movie to inform you what it is.
Exactly.
So yeah.
But now it's like, dude, what? Like that's the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Well, and I think this is a perfect time to jump to the bookend, which the ending being that there is a football scene at the end. So the film kind of bookends with two football scenes with a fucking horse.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay? So there is a sniper.
Yeah, there's a
right?
sniper. There's a horse.
There's a horse.
Can I also just mention before this?
Yeah.
He throws that football, right?
Yeah.
He got shot in the hand like 2 minutes ago.
2 minutes, yeah.
And he throws that football was like it was like a 200-yard throw
on the dot
to stop a bullet.
To stop a bullet.
Like it's
and
incredible.
It's so good. And
on horseback.
On horseback. I mean, it sounds like we're just making shit up.
It sounds like we're pitching like a terrible movie, and,
Yeah.
and then you watch it, like that's the most awesome thing.
That literally happens,
and
in
you
the
buy
movie.
it. Like it's weird that you don't question it. He's on a horse.
Yep.
In the middle of a football game, there was just horses there.
Horses there, yeah.
And
they're called the stallions. So
there, I guess.
Yeah.
It's not that much. I mean, yeah, they probably got a horse or two kicking around.
Sure.
And there's a senator there.
Yeah,
and
it's like
so like I don't know what nationality the villain is, but he's like
Polish or something.
Like he's American, but he's not.
He's not American,
and
yeah.
he's
but
just quintessentially evil.
And again, in the spirit of this podcast, the ending, like the climax of the movie is very sick.
It's so sick.
And the other thing that hit me of like sort of the denouement of the movie is like I really wanted to see like the two of them take on a couple of cases.
I know, they join up at the end. I'm like, because I think they were like, if there's gonna be a sequel or something, just leave it open. But I'm like,
that would have been so sick, dude.
Man, I want to see that so bad.
So
you know.
bad.
We should probably wrap up Last Boy Scout. We are. I mean, we could talk for. This whole podcast could be the Last Boy Scout.
Yeah. What for you? What's just to wrap it up? Sickest top three sickest things that we can. I mean, the opening. Obviously,
the opening, it goes without saying.
It's so sick.
Definitely the closet scene.
Yeah,
and
the script. I think dialogue.
I'm gonna also just as another scene in there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna throw in when he's by the pool. He's like, "Touch me again, I'm gonna kill you."
Yeah.
Like, I dropped my cigarette. Can I have another one?
Yeah, I have
it's
another one.
It's the perfect Bruce Willis scene.
Yes.
It's the perfect like nobody else could have played this character. Like
No.
Bruce Willis was like born to be that guy. And
Yep.
How about you? You got.
I mean, that's like those are the ones for me. I like the opening is so sick. I love like the script and performances, and the like just the comedy of the movie like really hit me this time as being super sick. I mean, just the way it like. Tony Scott is the definition of a style director.
Yeah.
And, this movie just has style.
He's the definition of a sick director.
100%.
Yeah.
And I love, like, kind of, when in different hands, this movie is so not rewatchable.
Yeah, and it can go off the rails at so many points.
Yeah.
It can come off as stupid. It can come off as but like they do it in a way that like only Shane Black, Tony Scott, and Bruce Willis can do.
And I do want to give a shout out to Damian Wayans as well, who's really good in
really
this
good
movie.
in it. Like, it's crazy that I can't think of another movie like this that he did, but he's really built for it. Like it's not as like he's a comedy guy, right?
Yeah.
But like he holds his own with Bruce Willis.
100% he does.
Yeah.
And so those to me, I think we can those to me, those couple of things are what makes this movie super sick and why it's the very first movie that we talked about. So I think we can close the chapter on Last Boy Scout.
You want to take a quick little ad break here?
Yeah,
for a second,
we'll do an ad break and
we'll be back with The Long Kiss Goodnight.
What if you couldn't remember your real name, your first kiss, or your last goodbye?
I don't remember.
Honey, you have an ETA on that carrot?
Stow it.
And then suddenly,
I used to do this. I'm a chef. Yo!
without warning,
Give me something else.
Celery! Scallions!
Ah!
all your memories
Name's Charlie. I'm coming back.
came flooding back to you.
Hey, Charlie. Long time.
One bullet at a time. Gina Davis, Samuel L. Jackson, The Long Kiss Goodnight. Directed by Rennie Harlan.
All right, we're back.
we're back
from commercial break.
yeah,
here.
whatever happened before this.
yes, our generic brand sodas and things like that.
Yeah.
Mike,
Yes.
you know what's sick?
What?
The Long Kiss Goodnight.
Oh, dude, it's so sick.
So sick.
Yeah, this movie, I think it fits the bill on the bottom half of our double feature.
Yes.
As we were kind of discussing beforehand, like this particular movie is maybe not talked about in sort of the lexicon of like sort of movie podcasts or really in pop culture. Like it's kind of a lost to time.
So a
movie.
little bit of a hidden gem.
It is a little bit of a hidden gem. Great fucking title to this movie.
Great title.
It's so good.
Great stars.
Yeah, so it stars Gina Davis, Samuel L. Jackson. Post, it comes out in 1996. Is that right?
Sure, I'll go. It's
Let me just double check that. Yeah, 96.
96.
So it's post Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, and it's also directed by Rennie Harlan.
Mm-hmm.
So, I think Rennie Harlan is in the same vein as Tony Scott was such a big part of why The Last Boy Scout worked so well.
Mm-hmm.
Rennie Harlan is known as like an action director, especially at that time. Most notably, Die Hard 2, which comes out in 90, so a year before Last Boy Scout and a few years
Before this one.
Yeah, before this one. It comes out in 1990. And
A year before me.
this movie comes out a year before
Yes,
you.
yes.
But Die Hard 2 was like obviously a big hit, and he also dabbles in the horror films as well. So he does Nightmare 4, and most recently does Strangers Chapter 1. So he's still
Still out there.
He's still out there making films.
Yeah. So is Shane Black.
Shane Black still cooking. This is a Shane Black script, as we mentioned in the first half.
Way more Christmas in this one.
This movie is 100% around Christmas.
Yes.
It has the Christmas element.
She's Mrs. Claus.
Mrs. Claus in the parade.
Yeah.
And Christmas is mentioned a lot. Of course, we'll get to the final scene, and there's Christmas lights, and Niagara Falls, and the whole 9 yards, right? So this is a quintessential Shane Black, script. Typically, for me, we were talking about premises that always work for me.
Yeah.
The thing that I'm not as sold on is the amnesia
thing.
thing. I'm not like
It's a little hokey.
It's a little hokey.
Even in this one, it's a little. You're like, it's one of those things. Like I think I've explained this to you before, but when I watch movies, sometimes I do I get a lot of enjoyment out of just going, sure, why not? When I'm watching a movie, and then movies get 10 times more enjoyable.
Yeah,
and the amnesia thing in this one is a big sure, why not? You know?
It is. Yeah,
and
now what makes it sick is that it's so like she's not just like an assassin or whatever. It's like I mean, she's like the top
and has the coolest fake name ever.
What is Charlie
Baltimore,
which is
it's so anyone who has like a location in their name is so sick to me. It gets me every time. It's like the best fake names are just so, like a generic name and like a state or a city or
Dakota. Or whatever.
Exactly. Like it's so good.
Yeah, it is
it's
great.
So good.
So like the story is Gina Davis is kind of a suburban housewife character, but she doesn't remember who she is, or who she was like 8 years prior. Or something.
Yeah,
I think it's 8 years or something.
Something like that.
Something obviously happened, and she's lived this life. She has a kid who's not the. She's the mother, but the father isn't her current partner.
Do you believe that like that, or do you think she was saying that to?
I do. I think that's
because they keep mentioning the eyes.
The eyes, and also like timeline wise, it's I think it all tracks. It's probably that dude.
Okay.
But anyway, so she has a kid. She's living the suburban life. But obviously, there's this thing under the surface, and the inciting incident.
The blonde hair is under the surface.
The blonde hair, yeah. There's sort of an inciting incident that kind of kicks things off with a car accident.
Dude, she gets thrown out of car windows 3 times.
There's a few people that get thrown out of windows.
Every character in this movie died 5 times in the movie. Like,
and
especially Sam Jackson. That guy is so dead.
So dead, dude. Which we'll get to because it's definitely in my.
It's one of the sickest. It's one of the sickest scenes.
Yeah,
but.
It 100% is. But yeah, so there's a car accident in which she hits a deer with driving a drunk dude home from a party, and she gets thrown from this car in not the most realistic way.
No,
and
then she gets up and snaps the deer's neck with her bare hand,
which is very sick.
Yeah,
it is very.
It's very sick. Yeah. And it's also like, oh, what's this? She's a secret agent. Okay,
so that kind of kicks things off. That now we're off and running.
Yeah.
I'd like to veer off for just a moment.
Yes.
To point out that her current partner, boyfriend, live-in person, also was on a show called Everwood in the, I want to say late 90s, early 2000s.
I'm not familiar.
It's Everwood, Colorado, but is the place, but the show is called
Wasn't
Everwood.
his name?
Not his name. Treat Williams is the lead character.
Okay, yeah.
He comes back to this small town called Everwood after his wife passes away with his son, and because it was like the place that they always went to, or
is
whatever.
there a little amnesia going on?
No, there's not.
Okay.
And he's a doctor, so now he's starting up his little practice in this little town, and his rival doctor is I'm blanking on his name. His name's John something, I think. I don't remember his actual name, but his rival doctor in this show is Gina Davis's partner in this movie. And the thing about him is like he is just and he plays it. He's like the straight edge, straight dude guy. Whereas like Treat Williams is kind of like the punk rock doctor, right? Where he's like giving stuff for free or whatever. The other notable thing. So, well, before I get there, so his vibe of being sort of this suburban kind of straight edge like he just plays it so well, right? That he's just, you know, he loves Gina Davis, and that's what he's all about.
Who
right?
doesn't?
Who doesn't? The other really interesting thing about Everwood is that it gave us Chris Pratt. So Treat Williams,
for better or worse,
right?
We got Chris Pratt.
Treat Williams' son falls in love with this girl named Emily, and it, like in the town.
Yeah.
And Emily's older brother is played by Chris Pratt.
Okay.
All of this, this is all knowledge. This is off the dome.
I was gonna say I
have there's no notes about Everwood.
This goes back to you remembering everything you watched.
Well,
it's good,
and it's a perfect example of me having very stupid knowledge that is taking up space in my brain.
Yeah.
I don't want to know or remember all this stuff about Everwood, but I do.
See, we both got it, but in different areas.
In different areas.
You know your 90s TV shows. I know, like...
It was like late, I think it was early 2000s maybe when it came out. But it was in the vein of, you know, this sort of OC.
Yeah, that's what I'm gathering.
Yeah, there's a bunch of, like, Dawson's Creek.
Yeah.
Like, it was basically a teenage drama. But it had Treat Williams in it, which, I mean, Treat Williams was also in, like, The Substitute 2.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Which, you know, like, he was kind of like this weird kind of action star somewhat, but a straight to DVD guy.
Yeah.
He's shown up in a few other places, and has been around, but yeah, he's he's in this show, and that's what it made me think of when I was watching Long Kiss Goodnight. So, but we've talked a little bit about you know, the story, what kind of a few things that are sick about it, but what was your first watch? Like, because this was kind of we were kicking around different films to partner with Boy Scout.
Yeah.
But you suggested this, and of course I was like, "Oh yeah, fuck yeah!" Dude,
the funny thing about this one is this wasn't one I watched as a kid.
Yeah,
it wasn't one that.
Well, it's not a big. It's not your tentpole action.
They didn't
right?
play it a lot on TV, or like they might have. I just never caught it. It wasn't one that like I picked up at Blockbuster or anything. It was a few years ago. It might have been during the pandemic, actually, that I first watched it. I had seen scenes from it, and I knew of it, and I think I was on a Shane Black kick.
Right.
I think I was. I had rewatched The Nice Guys or something around that time.
Such a sick movie.
Yeah, another sick movie. And I went and I was like, you know what? I've never actually seen this, but it looks like something I would just absolutely love. Yeah. And I did. And it's, I mean, I don't think it's, you know, one of like the strongest movies of this era, this type of movie.
Yep.
But I do think it's sick, and I do think there's a lot to be said about it, and it's really fun. It's
such a fun movie.
It's goofy.
Yeah.
It's like the whole amnesia thing is, if we're being honest, it's pretty dumb.
It's pretty dumb. But the thing that sells it is I think like Samuel L. Jackson and Gina Davis have this great chemistry.
Yeah.
But it's not sexual chemistry.
No, it's not. And they'll
they play with it.
They'll play with it a little bit, but it never goes there.
No.
And like,
which is, I think, so great.
I think so too. Like the scene where they're in the hotel.
The hotel, yeah.
And he's doing where she's like, "Are you a Mormon?" He goes, "You know, I just smoked a pack of Newports and drank 7 gin and tonics. Am I a fucking Mormon?" You know, like it's you know.
Yeah.
It's
well,
like,
and then
she's like almost trying to flirt with him, and he's just like, "What the fuck are you talking about?"
Well, because he's like attracted to her.
Yeah,
but then he has this like
a protectorate kind of thing.
Yeah, well, there's that, but also his
at first.
Yeah, he has this self-awareness to be like, why is this chick? Why does this chick want to fuck me?
And,
wait.
Yeah, because it does happen. Like she really wants him to, and then he
stops.
He rejects her.
Right, because he's like, why? Wait a second. What are you trying to get out of me?
Yeah, he's just like, you're trying to complete your transformation here and feel bad, and I'm not going to be that guy.
I'm not going to be that guy.
And it's great.
It is
because it's not something you would get like at this time. You want the like ideally the hot woman to have a sex scene, right? Like,
But it's not in this movie.
But
though.
they don't do it, and
No.
it's better for it.
Which is a perfect segue to the first time that I saw this movie.
Yeah.
So this movie I saw it advertised. There was a on television that they were going to show it on a television channel called City TV.
Oh yes.
And City
Good
TV
old City TV
was very important in the 90s for a bunch of different reasons. Baby Blue 2,
Yeah.
which was very important.
You've talked about it several,
Several times.
Yeah.
If you don't know what that is,
We talked about it last week.
yeah. Probably when I told you this story, but
You probably.
but yeah, Baby Blue 2 was basically Skinamax before Skinamax, or Skinamax if you didn't have Skinamax.
Yeah.
It was cut for TV softcore pornography
Yeah.
that they would run at like 1 a.m. on Friday nights.
Yeah.
I don't know the history. I always wondered as a kid or growing up as a teenager why it was called Baby Blue 2.
Yeah.
It's not the names of the movie. Like, Baby Blue 2 is not the name of a film as far as I know.
Yeah.
It could be. I don't know.
Yeah.
But also, why is it called 2? I don't know.
Yeah. There's not a first one.
And it's also like they would show a movie that was called something else. It was always like, you know, one I remember was a roller skating rink needed to be saved. So then the girls have to fuck their way into money to save the roller.
How else do you save the roller
Right.
rink?
That movie's not called Baby Blue 2. It's called something else. There was another one with like an undercover cop that was fucking her way around different things.
yeah.
Not called Baby Blue 2. Anyways, this is what would happen late nights, Friday nights, Saturday
You know
nights.
what's funny? Canadian TV had a bunch of those.
A bunch of them. Yeah.
Like Showcase used
well,
to do
Showcase came like for me came a little bit after because
Yeah.
it was on satellite. So it wasn't on just your antenna.
But there was a few other
broadcast.
channels.
There
like
was,
that,
yes.
and it was like
Yeah.
at like 10, 11 o'clock.
Yeah,
you
midnight,
know, yeah.
midnight special, whatever.
Yeah, exactly.
So, Long Kiss Goodnight, they were showing it on a Friday night.
Mm-hmm.
Parents go out. This is so much work, dude. Okay, I just want to point this out. This is how much work it was, okay?
Yeah.
I'm probably 12, 13, 14, somewhere in there.
Mm-hmm.
We have a babysitter, all that stuff. I have to set a recording time on the VCR.
Yes, absolutely.
And have a tape inside the VCR that's or that we could record, that you could record to, and then set it for the time when Long Kiss Goodnight was going to start, and make sure that there was enough tape that it would
it would get the whole thing.
That would get the whole thing. So that's just the setup.
Dude,
okay?
that's how I watched Die Hard 2.
Really?
Yeah, it's recorded on VHS
Well,
and then watched it the next day.
the added thing is that I had to do this incognito.
Yes,
right? Because
yes.
the babysitter couldn't find out that I was taping a late night movie. Parents
They couldn't
can't
know.
find out.
They can't know.
My hope,
You're-
always my hope,
Yes.
is that there's going to be boobs.
Yes.
Okay. So that's how I saw Under Siege for the first time. Like there's
You did get it in that one.
yeah, but we'll say it wasn't what I was hoping for.
Sure,
okay?
yeah,
It's
but-
not what I was hoping for.
But it's in there.
But the movie's called Long Kiss Goodnight. It has Gina Davis in it. The way that the ads ran, I'm like, this
You're
is
saying
going
it's
to
gonna be
have,
steamy.
This is going to have right, and they're running it at 11 o'clock or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So I record it. I start so of course you're fast forwarding, trying to.
Of course, yeah.
Yeah, of course. I end up watching the movie.
Yeah.
I just watched the movie because I'm like, and I loved the movie. Now it didn't deliver in the way that I was hoping for on the nudity side of things. However, I was like, this movie's so much fun.
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson's in it. Like he's
Even
so funny.
Even
like,
at 12 or 13, you're like, this is so sick.
this is so sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so I kept the tape just to watch the movie,
Yeah.
and that's how I saw Long Kiss Goodnight for the first time. I think for me, there's a couple of like probably, I mean, I think it's the first scene where you get to see her fight, and she kills the guy with the pie.
Yeah. Which
That's
how do you kill a guy with a pie? Like she doesn't do anything that extreme with it, and he dies.
And he dies, dude.
It's like
that to me is like the first, like, oh, this is sick.
Yeah.
Right. and it's also kind of the first time that you get to see her kind of like perform.
Can I say something about that scene?
Yeah, of course.
So the scene where they attack the house.
Yeah.
Is
the setup is great too with the carolers that are like under duress.
It's so
like,
Shane Black.
Yeah.
But the best moment in that whole scene is I texted you this when I was watching it, and I said the special effects do not hold up in this movie.
I mean,
did you watch it on VHS?
Yeah.
Okay, I didn't. I watched it like in HD.
Right.
They do not hold up.
Right.
But she's running up the stairs with her daughter. They blow a hole in the wall, and it's a terrible explosion.
It's not great.
And then she turns and fucking hucks her daughter out the hole into the treehouse. And it's like the best scene in the movie.
It's so good.
It's so aggressive.
She's so aggressive.
She just turns and fires her into the... And I'm like, that was... I had to like... because I did not remember that happening. And then like Sam Jackson gets her, gets the daughter, and I'm like, dude, she just flung that girl like across the yard.
I mean, there is speaking of the aggressiveness towards the daughter from Gina Davis's character. The skating scene is wild. Okay,
just fucking get up. Just stop being a beat.
And she like
I forget what she says. But
the girl breaks her wrist, which you find out in the subsequent scene
because she signs it.
Right.
Yeah.
So she becomes like a part of the story.
Yes.
It actually serves.
Yeah, because they
purpose.
get the number and everything.
Right. They get the phone number, and that's how they call her. How they call Gina Davis. But how she breaks her wrist is like she's basically forcing her to like skate and basically saying you're a little bitch.
Yeah,
like
you're a child who fell skating and broke her wrist, and you're whining about it.
And get up and skate over to the other side, right? Yeah. Which is very aggressive. Now the skating does come back in another scene.
Yes, it does.
Where Samuel L. Jackson is being chased and being shot at by a couple of the bad guys.
Yeah.
And they're going sort of around this pond.
Yeah.
And so Gina Davis decides to put on skates and skate across.
Very quickly, I might add.
I mean, you can't.
It was so... She had to stop, tie her skates, skate across the pond, and then catch up.
To them. Well, and take off her own shoes.
Take off her own shoes, and then walk to the...
Yeah.
But she got there. She's very fast, everybody. She's very
fast. And maybe this is our Canadianness coming out, but like you can't just put on skates that fast. It's impossible.
No.
But she gets on the ice and she's booting it, right?
She's flying.
Now they do have to go all the way around.
It's true. That's why I gave it the benefit of the doubt. I'm like, and she might be able to I think she would see them turning the corner.
Right.
But I don't think she's getting there.
And then of course she pulls the gun and there's it's almost a James Bond-esque moment.
It is. It's
right?
very James Bond.
You could see James Bond putting on skates here. Now there is a little bit.
I feel like he's classier. He'd do the skis. You know.
Oh yeah, it's 100% the skis. Yeah. So that moment's sick. I mean, like before we get too far into because I'm sure there's a couple other scenes we want to point out here, but the story essentially is that. Gina Davis is this assassin with the government, right?
Charlie Baltimore,
right? And there was an incident, Operation Honeymoon, which ends
Niagara Falls, of
course, where she ends up fucking some dude and getting pregnant and having this kid, but then that's when things kind of turn off for her, and there's a terrorist plot.
Yeah, there's a. Why don't you say a little?
Well, there's a scene which I did not clock the last time.
No,
that I
definitely clocked it this time.
But I clocked it this time, where they the lead up to that is that the agency, CIA or whatever head guy, is essentially to get more funding for what he wants.
Yeah, he's gonna.
He's hiring some of the bad guys.
Yeah, the bad guys they tried to catch, and he's gonna plan a big terrorist
incident in
false flag kind of
thing to
make some money for the government.
Right. And so this is kind of where she comes online and she's going to stop all this from happening. There's a mention to the 93
Oklahoma.
no.
Or not Oklahoma, the World Trade Center.
World Trade.
Sorry, yeah.
So there was a real life bombing of the World Trade Center,
Yes.
and then there's a reference to them doing it again in some way,
Yeah,
or
and,
some sort
and
of,
with a really specific number.
4,000.
4,000 people are going to die in this city.
And basically, the guy is the head of the operation or the CIA is like, I don't like it. You can't fake something like this.
Yeah, he goes,
you have to do it for real.
I haven't figured out a way to fake killing 4,000 people. I think
right.
is what he says.
And so we have to do it for real.
Yeah.
And then Samuel L. Jackson has a great line that's like, "This is all just for funding." For
yeah,
your
yeah.
shit?
He's like, "You fucked up, guys. What's
Yeah,
going on?"
what is going on? Which is really funny. That he's just like, this is absurd, right?
Yeah.
But of course, like this is in '96.
Yeah.
We know what happens
We've lived through some shit.
Right.
Yeah.
We know what happens 5 years later. Really.
Not
kind of,
saying that was done for funding or anything.
No.
But
Like, it's- yeah.
He raises some valid questions.
Yes.
Is all I'm saying. Yeah.
Yes, and it's probably I don't know. It's an interesting moment in the movie.
Yeah, it's like, what did you know, Shane?
Yeah.
Like there's a couple moments in the movie where I'm like, you know some things here.
Right.
Like,
well, getting back to what is sick about this,
Yeah.
one of my favorite scenes is actually I think probably one of the best scenes in the movie.
It's the climax.
Is the climax scene at Niagara Falls. Bright lights, shootout, the whole nine
I want to
yards.
say
Helicopters.
the thing that you were mentioning a sex scene, and then I talked about how crazy Gina Davis is towards her daughter.
Yeah.
In that scene, she has her daughter in a cage on a semi truck that's a city leveling bomb, and what does she do? She fucking drives it off a ramp and flips it on its side. In the direction of her daughter.
Yes.
It's on the side of her. It doesn't give a fuck.
Does not.
She does not care
No.
in the slightest.
In the slightest. Yeah.
And it's like, dude, she even makes a reference a couple times earlier on where she's like, I don't care about my daughter.
Right.
She's like, I've moved on from my life. My daughter means nothing.
Yeah.
I didn't want to have her. That was from the other woman does it.
That's right.
Which is interesting, which is why I thought she was lying about the...
Right.
Because...
You could make that case.
Because that would have been Charlie Bull. But I'm like, maybe she's just like trying to the same thing she's doing with Sam Jackson. She's forcing herself to leave that life.
Yeah.
But ultimately, the point of the movie is she does love her daughter.
Right. So that,
even though she doesn't show it in in a great way.
Like it's definitely it's just something that it kind of all comes around to the end where she I think it reminded me of a couple of things that climax. It reminded me of the ending of Blowout. Sort of bright lights, shootout, all that kind of thing.
And instead of the 4th of July, it's Christmas.
It's Christmas. You have the giant welcome to Canada sign.
It's so funny to me. I'm like,
great.
Because I'm also like, where is that?
I mean, it's
that bridge?
It's got to be the bridge,
right?
Yeah.
But I'm like, I've been on that bridge. I've never seen this.
Well,
but
were you on the bridge a year before you were born, though, or 2 years probably? As they probably shot it in 95.
But you think they shot it on that bridge?
I don't know. I mean, I
think that's in Los Angeles.
You think so?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe they did. Maybe they didn't.
I think they got some shots of the falls.
Sure, and then
went to the studio.
The other thing it reminded me of, a great shot of the movie is Gina Davis coming down the lights and shooting and killing that.
But she does because that scene's crazy.
Yeah,
because there's a burning corpse and a helicopter shooting at her. So she has some sort of pulley system that she's got rigged up. I can't remember exactly what it was.
And so she cuts it so the
flies up.
The body goes down.
She grabs the gun off the body.
As she's passing the body.
Yeah. Yep. Shoots at the helicopter, breaking all the lights.
Yep.
It's so awesome. I mean,
it reminded me of the really famous Jackie Chan stunt.
Police Story, yeah.
Police Story.
Oh, that's exactly where he jumps down the lights.
Yeah, where he goes and gets third-degree burns all over his body, right?
Gina Davis is tougher than Jackie Chan, though. That's you failed to consider that.
Yeah, maybe, but I think, but yeah, that's I think for me one of the, if not the sickest part of the movie is the climax. Then, so she kills the guy or shoots the guy. He falls off of the helicopter onto the truck.
Yeah, and
then it blows up
because
right?
you think he's dead.
Yeah,
and then they make sure to show you. Oh no, he's alive.
He's alive. He's still still kicking.
And then the bomb goes up.
Then we're gonna explode the truck, right?
It's
very sick. It's very sick, and yeah, I think So I mean, that's very all of this is very Shane Black. Rennie Harlan, I think brings that sort of 90s action style that sort of I think works well with this kind of story.
Yeah.
Again, there is shades of noir in this and neo-noir in this movie.
I would say not as much
as Last Boy Scout. But Samuel L. Jackson is a private detective. Remember, his character's introduced by him duping, using actually the girl who actually discovers the shit, right? The girl is actually the one that was on Gina Davis's character and kind of figured things out with the whole
because they were looking into her for a while,
right? But anyway, so he is a private detective and is duping people, right? And blackmailing people. So there is, I think one of a great noir title would be The Long Kiss Goodnight.
Oh, it's an
amazing title. Yeah. One of the sickest things about the movie is the title of the movie.
100%.
So yeah, you have all these things that just make it a great sort of time. I would say a time capsule piece of that particular era of 90s action movie. And I did look up sort of what these films did box office wise. Neither of these movies were Die Hard 2.
No, they both made money though, right?
They both did relatively well. Yeah. But again, like this isn't, I thought another interesting element from Rennie Harlan's career and filmography standpoint is he works with Gina Davis on a film right before this film, which is a legendary bomb in Hollywood. It's called Cutthroat Island.
Oh, yeah.
Which I actually really enjoyed as a kid watching it.
Sure.
But it's a legendary bomb.
Yeah.
It was a very expensive movie that did not do well.
Yes.
And the film that he does after this, after Cutthroat Island, is Long Kiss Goodnight. So he kind of goes back to, his quote-unquote roots in the sense of let's just make an action film, right?
Yeah.
So I thought that was kind of interesting with him and sort of the reaction of okay, well that didn't work, so let's right, we'll take a Shane Black movie and and make that, right? And,
I mean, like, and it's interesting just to like compare the two movies here.
Yeah.
Like Long Kiss Goodnight, or sorry, Last Boy Scout.
Yep.
Wasn't like a massive hit.
Neither of them were.
Yeah, it was.
But they're modest.
Like, it did okay.
Yep.
And for having all the hype around it, like I briefly mentioned the script thing, but like while that movie was in production, it was like a big deal. Like people were excited about it. Like how often do you hear a movie talked about where it's like all we know is there's a script?
Right.
Like,
yeah.
That's maybe like right now, like Batman 2
sure,
is a thing.
Yes,
but,
yeah, absolutely.
But because it's already established and people wanted the sequel, but like an original film, spec script, that like...
And you have, again, Gina Davis kind of disappeared from, Samuel L. Jackson. We still have a relationship with him as an actor. He's spanned many generations. He's kind of, but this is right after. He is red hot right now.
Exactly.
He does Pulp Fiction. Obviously, then he does Die Hard 3.
And it's the same case with Bruce Willis in the
Bruce
first
Willis.
one, right?
Yes,
like,
he is red hot.
Yeah,
like
so,
red hot.
All of these things should be box office gold.
Yes.
Right?
And they did well. Like these weren't bombs necessarily at all, but they weren't. It's not like these. It's not T2.
Exactly. That's what I mean.
Yeah.
They're kind of in their own like. There's a lot of people out there who these movies are for, but they're not for everybody.
No.
And that's the thing where like T2 feels like it shouldn't be for everybody, but James Cameron makes movies for everybody.
He does.
Like, you're like that's a robot murder movie.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
like it's a robot genocide movie, really.
But I mean, it is, and there's still, you can see the influence from a film like T2
Yeah.
in Long Kiss Goodnight. I mean, there's a female action star that's in the front of the movie. She carries the movie.
She does.
I mean, there's
You know what's interesting is I mean, like, realistically, this is a very standout movie in Gina Davis's
It
career.
is,
Like,
yeah.
she doesn't do anything like this.
No.
And it shouldn't work for her. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
to me, she's not a person based on her movies.
She's not Linda Hamilton.
Exactly.
or,
It's not
you
a
know.
real fit, but
Yeah.
she really embodies it, and she
Yeah.
and it's funny that like her transformation, she really does look like another person.
Yeah.
Like, she does not look like Gina Davis in
No.
the second half of this movie.
Obviously, they changed costumes, that kind of thing, but she does the whole hair thing.
She changed her hair, her
that
makeup's
montage,
different.
The makeup,
like,
the
even
the
Sam
eyeliner.
Jackson doesn't recognize her
No,
when she
yeah,
first shows
yeah,
up.
yeah.
And it's really cool to see an actor like that do that full thing in a role and then kind of like never touch it again.
That's right.
You know, it's not something you. And I mean, we kind of talked about that about Wayans too, where it's like he really did a great job in this movie, and then
Unbelievable.
never really got there again.
Yeah.
And I don't know why that is, and I don't know if it's they were expecting more from these movies, even though, as we said, they've
Yeah.
done well. But like they were probably hoping they would be like these.
I remember, I mean, obviously, like I said, like my theater experience at that time, like in the 90s, was pretty limited for various reasons.
Yeah.
But I remember both these movies being really big on video. And
Yes.
like video rentals were huge with
There's
these
a lot of
movies, yeah.
movies that like I think the world kind of suffers now because we don't have that. Like, I mean, sure, there's streaming, but like
That's the substitute, obviously.
but they
yeah.
like if I watch a movie on some unnamed streaming service,
Yeah.
you know, and I recommend it to my friends or whatever, they'll be like, "Oh, I don't have that one,"
Right.
or I don't have, or like, and the other thing
Yeah.
is the filmmakers make like, or the studio makes like nothing off
No.
that, unless it's like Warner Brothers who owns one,
I was
Disney
going to say,
who
they all
owns
own
one.
their own
But, like,
thing, yeah.
But if it's on, say, Netflix, whatever, I said I wasn't going to name them, but I've
Sure.
named
You
them all in
named-
the
yeah.
last 30 seconds.
Yeah.
They're, they don't own a lot of those movies.
No.
You know, and they don't, from what I've heard, they don't pay very well for those movies.
No, and yeah, it's as you were saying. I think your point is great. Is that like if you're going to recommend a movie to someone that and they don't have a certain streaming service, then you know, and that's where I think physical media is so important. And
It is,
and why it's still. You know why it's still doing. No, it's doing better now than it was, I think, 10 years ago.
Yeah, but like
for
a lot of
various
movies
reasons,
are
but-
dying on the vine because of this, where it's like
Yeah, yeah.
there's all of the substance of a movie existing is relying on the box office now.
Yeah, there's a huge
And
It's
so
very
movies
important.
have to do really well in theaters, and they only get like 2-week runs.
Yeah,
you know?
the
like
runs are- yeah.
It's really short. It's on streaming almost immediately, and the movie's dead basically.
Yeah.
It's so
unless
like,
it has like there's certain movies like recently like Sinners, for example, where
Yeah.
you have I mean even
or certain franchise films. as
franchise
well.
yep Final Destination was another one, surprise hit, like it still happens, and it has a long run in theaters,
But
and
it's
it does really
only
well,
certain
right?
only the ones
But-
that have like big opening weekends
Yeah.
will sustain.
Yeah.
There's not a lot of room for discovery of movies or
Right.
like
or less so.
yeah. So
Yeah.
that's when you said like these were huge in the video
Yeah,
space.
huge.
It's like there's a lot of movies when I was younger that I remember, like Kill Bill's a perfect example. I remember going to the video and the posters for Kill Bill
Oh
were
yeah, everywhere.
and I was like, I didn't know what the movie was,
Yeah.
but I'm like, I know it's a big movie. I know it's something I need to see.
Yeah.
And I was a kid. I couldn't go see that in a movie theater.
Nope.
No one would take me. You know, I did see a lot of my uncle took me to a lot of movies I should not have been able to see when I was
Yeah.
younger, Tarantino movies included. But like nowadays, there really isn't that second wind chance. Like, you don't. Sure, Netflix can be like, oh, it's streamed however many hours, whatever, and people will be like, wow, that's a lot, and then you'd be like, yeah, but that's no money to the studio for them to be like, that's enough to fund a sequel.
Yeah.
You know, or like,
and some films don't even get a physical release. So
yeah,
so which is sad.
It's very sad.
So yeah, I mean,
so like I can't even buy a movie and lend it to my friend.
Yeah, which both of us lend movies to each other, to people.
Everybody. You know?
Yeah, it's important because there's certain movies that aren't available on streaming anywhere.
Yeah.
So unless you own them, like you need them on physical media,
or vice versa. It's the other way.
It's
it's only on streaming, and you can't. And it's not a good situation where we're at.
No.
And movies like these that we're talking about today are the perfect example of that generation of film. Like, these movies don't exist today because of that change in Hollywood. It's not just
that is a big variable for sure.
It's not just, like, nobody can make these movies anymore. It's like Shane Black's still around, you know? You said what's
Rennie.
Yeah, he just did Strangers.
Chapter 1, yeah.
So like, they're here. They can do it, but the studio's not going to fund them. And indie studios, if you can somehow miraculously, and it's like, these are the in Hollywood, the mid-budget movies.
Yep.
Right? And they don't really exist anymore. You get the rare one.
Well, yeah, and you get the ones that
the
like
Statham's.
the Statham's, right?
But I mean, even his movies cost a lot of money.
Yeah, but yes and no. Like, they're still very like affordable. And if you start looking down the list of his movies in the box office, they typically do between like 50 and 80 million bucks.
Okay.
So which is like, that is the definition of like a mid, you know, and in terms of return and stuff like that. So they're probably not spending more than like 30 million bucks.
That's
right?
I guess.
So if they're doubling their money every single time.
But see, this used to be in the 90s.
Oh, this was
in the 2000s.
yeah,
that was
yeah.
Hollywood's bread and butter. Was
right.
the mid-budget
well,
movie.
and then and then it made those special event films much more special.
Exactly.
Right?
But now it's
everything.
It's everything.
Yeah, it's
and
every
like
movie.
you get the rare ones, like I said, Statham. Den of Thieves is a good example.
Den of Thieves, sure. Yeah.
They're trying.
They're
still,
there, yeah.
But it's much harder to make movies like The Last Boy Scout and The Long Kiss Goodnight.
100%, and I've said it many times. I love a good double. You know, using a baseball analogy. Like, not every film has to be like nominated for 20 Oscars.
It's not going to be. It doesn't have to be a grand slam.
Doesn't have to be a grand slam.
A stand-up double.
Stand-up double. You know, a great to the wall single. I'm there for. You know, not every movie has to be, you know, the greatest film that's ever been made. You know?
It can even be. You know, sometimes a sacrifice bunt is killer. You know,
a sacrifice fly at the right time.
They're
you know?
killer. You know?
And those kind of movies are the movies that we love, and a lot of times they're really rewatchable.
And they're
like
very sick.
And they're very sick. So speaking of sick, Dalton, do you think both these movies are sick?
Incredibly.
That's
incredibly sick.
So let's give. Hopefully, we'll be able. You'll hear us again on our first official episode. Do we want to give?
Should we tell them what it is, or do we want to?
2 or 3 people that are listening to this, I'm sure. What a little teaser as to what's to come of the first official episode.
Well, we'll definitely be doing another Tony Scott film.
Sure.
And
is it something that can be stopped? Is the question.
It's either we'll find out. We'll find out.
And what are we going to pair this train Tony Scott movie with?
Another little buddy film.
Yep, 90s gem.
90s gem, that
double of, if there ever was a double,
that Mike recommended me, with an amazing title.
What's the title, Dalton? Give us the title.
It is Money Train.
Is there a train that
there's a train
money?
And there's some money.
Let's
Woody
cook.
Harrelson, Wesley Snipes,
Jennifer Lopez.
Yeah. And then so we'll be doing Tony Scott's Unstoppable, one of my all-time favorite movies. I think it's in the last 5 years, it's the movie I've seen the most.
100%.
I rewatch it all the time.
Yeah.
I went on vacation
And still
like
watched
2
it,
weeks
dude.
ago and brought a DVD copy of Unstoppable. So
Yeah.
we decided we had to do that one.
Yeah.
And Money
And Money
Train
Train.
was when Mike and I first started working together. It was a film that if I know it's audio, so you can't see my face, but if you would have seen the face that I gave Mike when he said the words "Money Train" to me for the first time, I was like, "The what?
The what now?"
and-
I said we were talking about movies and we were talking about train movies.
Train movies, yes."
And I was trying to think. We were probably rattling off movies.
You rattled off so casually. You're just
Yeah.
you're like.
dude.
You're like, so like Money Train, obviously, and I went, the what?
The what?
The what?
And I went, dude, have you not seen Money Train? So we call.
I went home that night.
Yep.
And I had not been in the door 5 minutes. I'm not joking. I was pulling it up.
Yeah.
I was still taking my sweater off, everything, and I sat down and and I loved it.
Yeah,
I loved
man.
every
It's-
second of it.
We did just for because I wanted to. When I saw your reaction, I was like, well, we gotta pull up the trailer. So we did pull up the YouTube trailer, like probably not even 480p version.
Oh, it was rough.
It was rough.
Yeah.
But just to give you a little taster as to what,
And my
Money
jaw
Train
was on the floor.
You're like, how have I never seen
Yeah.
this movie? Right. So
I was geeked all day.
all day.
Like I just kept turning to Money Train, dude. Like, and he was looking over. I was googling where to stream it.
Yeah,
everything.
yeah,
I was locked in.
and I believe there is a Tony Scott connection to Money Train, right?
Yeah, he was supposed to
was
direct
supposed
it.
to direct
And when I
it.
found that out, I got even more excited. And I didn't find that out till
So
recently.
recently, and I had no idea. It was just like
it makes
yeah,
sense.
It makes sense.
He
It makes
kind of did it with Pelham 1-2-3.
Yeah,
It's
he
very
did.
very
Yeah.
similar movie.
But yeah, so that's a little
That's
teaser,
a little teaser for the
appetizer
future. Yeah,
for
we'll
the
do
next
we'll do a
episode.
lot of
Yeah.
Tony Scott movies. So if you guys like Tony Scott movies, make sure to tune in
Tune
because
in.
we'll be doing it. You know.
Well, this has been sick, dude.
Yes, very sick.
And thank you, everybody, whoever's listening.
Yeah.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you for the 3 people out there.
Yeah,
who
yeah,
are
whoever it
just
is.
eating this up.
Who's eating it up? What did? Well, we don't know exactly. I mean, we might do a little cut version or maybe a 2-part. I don't know what we're gonna do with this pilot episode, but this was a lot of fun. Again, thank you for listening, and we will see you all on or hopefully you will hear us on the next episode of Dude, You Know What's Sick.